Yeah, alright, let's get this stream going. Let's see. There we go. Look at that. YouTube seems to be going. I don't know. Yeah, it was like, do I want to stream today? It doesn't matter if I want to stream. I am. I want to watch other content. Why is my mic so low again? Do I need to increase that gain again? Let me do this. Filters. Gain. No, the gain's high. It's probably just because of the way I'm angled, maybe. I think I also need to just talk louder, I guess, but I don't really want to do this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna increase the gain on. Oh, that was a shit ton. Maybe I should not increase my gain to that level from just the. Oh, there. Now it's quiet. Now it is too loud. Now is it fine? I think it's fine. Um, I think that yeah, no, I think that's fine because you want to hit into the yellow, maybe a little bit into the red sometimes, but more into the yellow. Especially when I edit these videos, it is a funny thing because it's such such a funny thing. Unknown user followed 4 days ago. I think that guy disappeared. That's kind of funny. I don't really know why this unknown user. Sorry, I was looking at my Twitch, but I don't really know what to talk about today. I don't have a topic. I just was streaming for the sake of actually streaming because last I streamed was like 4 days ago, and we're not gonna talk about the fact that I just didn't stream the past recent days. But that's not too important. Why does every single time I close this, OBS goes on my main monitor? I have you on my third monitor for a reason, and the reason is I don't fucking know. But as you can see, I have a new chair, which is great. Got a garage sale for $15. But actually, well, combined $20 with this new monitor that I have. Yippee! Yeah, I got that monitor for in the chair for $20 combined. My monitor, at a really bad angle, used to be going out. I used to have to like poke at it for 3.5 years for it to actually work. So got a new one. It's funny because the old one was HP and this one's also an HP monitor, except for this one is newer by a whole 7 years. This is a monitor from 2017. I actually didn't even refund. I don't even know how old my Asus monitor, one I mainly use, is. My main monitor. It's also just a faster monitor. What am I doing today? I have no stream topic. I don't even know why I'm recording on OBS. I just kind of sitting here, just like staring at stuff, just kind of vibing. Got my leg up here, got my mic in my face, ready to not know what the fuck I'm doing. It's great. Um, I could talk about my day. I don't know. I really don't know what to do. Kind of just was like, I edited the video, kind of again really sloppy edited. I don't mind, but I finally actually did it. Let me put this little guy on top of that. It's a little like, privacy cover thing. But finally edited today. Got like I think 3 clips worth of content. Not that great. It was like 10 gigabytes of a fucking video from last time. Um, because of how long the recording was. But yeah, no, now I don't have to worry about that. It was really funny. Almost 5 hour stream is edited down into like 40 minutes, 50 minutes. I think 55 minutes. So, hey, it's not bad. A lot of it's just gee, I'm like in my head for a second. I just like phase back into reality. Oh, that was weird. But yeah, no, so that stream was was a stream. The last like whatever amount of hours, like 2, 3 hours, was a fucking blur, man. It was a blur to say the least. And what the fuck is happening, man? I'm gonna drink some of this fucking sody. Drink some of this fucking. I'm trying Dr. Dynamite. This is Albertsons brand, the Dr. Pepper. So far it's not bad. Do I prefer the Dr. K? Yeah, I prefer the Dr. K soda. Why? Because it says Dr. K. It tastes better? I don't know. I'm starting to like this taste. How does it taste the Dr. K again to see which one I like better? But I don't know. Off-brand soda-wise, not bad. Let's go by the off-brand sodas that aren't too bad, but this one's so far pretty good. I don't really have, like I said, topic. It's kind of sat down and it was like, fuck it. Uh, fuck it. We ball. We. I guess we just fucking rip and start playing game. Do I want to play a game? I'll look at a couple games. I don't know because I've finished another playthrough of Bike Factor. I want to get 2 achievements to be 100%, but those 2 achievements are find a rare fucking fish, which is great, and go through the shooter portal to get those 2 achievements, which means I have to just do that, which is not bad. I just have to do that. I don't really know if I want to do that. I also have YouTube. I don't know. I really don't
You
know.
also have a friend in me.
I had a friend. I had a feeling you could just show up. Yeah, I don't know what to stream, bro. I'm just sitting here, just not knowing what to do. Because I haven't been doing. I didn't upload the video yet, and I have a couple of clips that are
That's
not
okay.
edited yet, and I was just like, I want to
As
just get
long as
back to
you
it.
have a handful of them,
Yeah,
that is a-okay.
I just want to sit
How
down
are
and
you,
stream.
Master K?
Not too bad, not too great. I
Master K, my special K.
thank you.
Call you cereal, I'll eat you up.
Sheesh.
Sheesh! Darman walking in with a heavy breeze.
But I'm a little tired for some reason. I slept a lot of today, and I don't know. I like going through life has been a blur the past couple of days. Saturday went to garage sales. Um, then played like
Oh man, I love garage sale season. You never know what you're gonna find.
well, yeah, it was actually where I got this new chair and this monitor that I have over here. It's because the old monitor I had to summon the Dark Lords just to use, but now it works. Um, but well, it's a different monitor, but yeah, no, that was a blur because I played 30 years of one game of Magic, and was like, after I'm just like,
Did you sleep after that?
um, I I I think I did. I don't remember. I watched a YouTube video and fell asleep. Yeah, that was it. It was something. And then today, all I did was wake up, and then I visited my grandmother today. Um, she's housing a person studying, and the person's from Afghanistan. I don't know the way to explain that. She has like a student visa, and she's going to the local community college here, and it's really weird because like I have a couple of family members from directly from Afghanistan, but I don't really interact with them a lot. Um, one of the family members who is an immigrant from Afghanistan, she's at Stanford full ride, I'm pretty sure. So it's like,
Oh,
yeah, no, it's crazy. You're just like, oh yeah, you know, crazy college full ride, doesn't need to worry. It's like, what? That's weird. But so I met the person today. It's funny because I can't dox her because I don't remember her name, so it doesn't really matter.
That makes it easier.
It makes it so much easier. And so did like hung out there for like 4 hours. Did my normal just sit there and talk? Yeah, because my grandmother, she does talk, but she does a lot more listening than she does talking, and maybe that's my fault. But um, I usually when I was going to therapy would go hang out with her every other Wednesday, because she would have a
Mm.
thing every other Wednesday, and so the Wednesdays she didn't have a thing, I would go hang out with her, and so it's been a while because I stopped going to therapy and started working, and then lost track of that, and so now it's just like, all right, let me just go hang out with her. It's been a while.
How old did you say she is?
My grandmother, she is I think 84 now. Yeah, she's 84.
Mm, getting up there.
Yeah. She's 84. She does a lot of walking, and she tries to keep herself active, and so I think she seems to be in good health. Um she does her best to stay in good health. So, she doesn't
I have
seem to
no
show
idea
any.
how old my grandparents are at this point.
Yeah, honestly, it's pretty fair. My other grandmother, I would not know how old she is.
She
Somewhere in
I don't
60s.
know how old she is,
Dude, so
depending where she's from.
she's younger. My other grandmother, she's younger, but I don't remember how old she is. She's pretty sure 60s. Maybe mid 60s. I don't really, maybe, I don't remember. It's been forever since I remember her birthday, which is, or I know her birth date, not the year. Um, I'm not that bad of a person, but I don't know. Not much I did today.
Am I a bad person if I don't remember dates?
No, you're not
Like
a.
the only dates I remember are my wife's birthday or anniversary, and then like holidays. Like I know my parents' birthdays, my brother's birthdays. Other than that, though, everything else is kind of a blur.
I don't blame you, but like, I try to keep things in my memory a little bit, and sometimes they stay for a little bit too long, which is really, really funny. But like, no, it's not bad. I just specifically try to remember. I don't have a lot of birthdays in my phone, which is kind of funny, and that's why I lose track of some people's birthdays. I generally just try to remember. One of my friend's birthday is today, June 1st, and I sent him a funny
Oh my
little
god, it's
GIF.
him. It's his birthday.
Yeah,
Mm.
you know him, you love him. I actually don't know if you do you know whose birthday is today? You've
I do.
interacted. Okay,
He sent a gift on with another friend who went to a place that could do a thing. You know.
great explanation.
Well, I'm not about to dox him.
Yeah, no, no, it's fair, it's fair, it's fair.
I explained the situation perfectly.
Yeah, with great amount of detail. Um,
So much detail.
so much
Detail for
detail.
days.
But oh, dude, I didn't realize I just got a message from two other friends. It's really funny. Yeah, let's see. I think it's because they caught me streaming.
they caught you streaming. They locked in and said, "Oh, oh,
Uh,
he sent
they,
the thing.
they're
He
asking,
said
do I want
words."
to work?
They're asking
What?
if you want a job.
Dude, they're about to make they're trying to make me employed. I'm too afraid of employment men. What is happening?
Have you started the disability process?
No, I've not.
It like legitimately, it might be a path for you.
Yeah,
Like, unironically, kind of ironically, but like, there's no shame in that game. Like, if you can't work, you can't work. If working causes you so much anxiety that you're going to kill yourself, you literally can't work.
yeah. So yeah, no, that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out. But there, for making it.
Going through that process with the employment office and disability is going to be a pain in the
Oh
fucking
yeah,
ass. But
it really is. Mainly because even my mom doesn't have disability, and she has something else medical going on. I say mental, um, but yeah, no, dude, it's funny because I get a message from two of them One being the person who works at the place, the other one being the
Birthday
the
boy.
no, it's actually different. So
Oh,
one of
the
my
other one.
friends, he actually works with Birthday Boy. Um, and then the so it's my friend, and then his girlfriend are messaging me about like, hey, do you want to work at the place? And I'm like, why are you tag teaming me like this? Like stop like doing this. Not bad things, just
On
more
the one
funny.
hand, they're really trying to be encouraging.
Yeah,
They
no, no,
really
no.
do think highly of you.
I'm mainly joking. I'm mainly being just joking. Any of these things appealing? Assistant manager, bar back, bartender, bus person,
I feel
host.
like you would make some wicked cocktails.
I don't even know how to make a cocktail. He was just like, all right, just pour this drink and this other
Honestly,
drink.
dude. So like bartender for like a small bar is actually really fucking enjoyable. Like I haven't done it myself, but I have watched and done the training for it.
Mm.
I went to a small class on how to do basic bartending and then decided that that was not the path for me.
Oh, okay.
Um but like bartending is, especially with the way that you manage your relationship with other people around you, I think would be I think if you were to do a serving or service related job, I think that is the place.
Mm.
I could be entirely wrong for that. But
I just think it's just really funny that like they both
just
came
tag
in.
team you.
They
Yeah.
because they're probably hanging out talking about how there's a job position open, which
Be
is
like,
really
oh,
funny.
he's online. He's live. Hey, buddy.
Get a job. Uh,
Hey, nerd. Get a
nerd,
job.
get a job. But
Get a job.
yeah.
Just take a job. You take a job.
I think that
Take a
definitely the
job.
more I think about it right now, job right now, just I don't know how realistic that might be right now. I don't know. I don't know because like the fact that the past couple days has been a blur, like it really has just like no substance
You
taken.
sound you sound really deprived of the sleep.
I would love to think I'm deprived of the sleep if I didn't get like 12 hours of sleep. If I didn't
You can
just
still be deprived.
That's true.
Like like if your internal rhythmia is entirely dysfunctional and disjointed,
Mhm.
right? I think you can still be deprived of sleep. Not that it's a
Yeah.
fucking Olympic game, right?
Yeah,
Like
but
I'm more sleep deprived than you.
yeah, no,
Uh,
you're not wrong. It's just one of those things I think is just funny. It's cause
I've
I
watched
definitely
people sleep 3 days back to back, 12 hours, and they would still be fucking devastated. And that's when
yeah.
they learned that they had sleep apnea.
Yeah, I don't think I struggle with sleep apnea. I think I just struggle with I need a lot of sleep.
I struggle with the fact that I'm an EP boy.
Yeah, I struggle with the fact that I'm a boy. You're not wrong. But yeah, no, I definitely feel tired. Feel tired. I just sat down to stream just because I wanted to just continue even if because like I doubt this is gonna be anything. I doubt like, I'm gonna stream for as long as I stream other days or like I don't think
Oh
I've
sure, yeah, you're kind of getting a late start to it, but
yeah
it's good to let things mince.
yeah it's just kind of like it's kind of like when working out. It's like hey, you might not feel up to like do your PRs
But
or
showing up to the gym is what counts.
exactly, and so I at least want to
You
show
can
up.
walk in the door, check in, and walk out.
Yeah,
There's nothing legally stopping you from doing that.
and do like 5 push-ups and then leave. Yeah, but
Is it gonna be efficient? No, but that's okay. It doesn't
yeah
always have to be.
yeah that's kind of just the way that especially because like if I theoretically stream a lot more or potentially become um more effective at being entertaining constantly, even when I feel more out of it potentially.
Hmm.
But that would be if I gain a certain level of skill. But who knows if
I
I
think over worrying on the entertaining part is gonna be a detractor.
Mhm.
Like verbalizing that for yourself. That That one's an inside thought, brother.
Yeah, it is currently. I understand that that's kind of especially the inside thought, and that's what I've noticed with a lot of the way that I talk is I bring out a lot of the inside thoughts, um, a
Which
little
is
bit
okay.
too. Yeah, it's okay, but I think it's funny because this is gonna make it worse. Is I study a lot of streamers. I like will like watch streamers and like think about like and adjust. And I haven't done the notes yet. I've like set it up to start doing notes like on one of my notes apps. Um, it's
Mm.
Obsidian, I think it is, and I set it up to like have different streamers I enjoy and start doing notes on them. Um, and a lot of what I do is just not as lighthearted. It is not surface level. It requires somewhat more cognitive awareness sometimes. Like I think you can like listen without it. You could go and be perfectly fine, but a lot more of it just like it puts people in a position of having to think a little bit more. Because like even it was just really funny because this is getting even more mad about the situation. There's a lot of people on YouTube who will kind of like doomer talk. They'll be like, I spent my life doing this and I don't know where to go anymore. And even in comparison to that, um, I'm not gonna say I've expressed more insight because I definitely noticed that like I have way more insight than I've expressed um on any sort of stream. But I still tend to be. I feel like I display more thought about these situations in a certain way that doesn't help when it comes to making content. But you know,
Sure.
I'm just trying to get myself to like be able to talk. And maybe I'm learning a bad habit and just talking about being entertaining, which could be a bad habit I might build up just trying to continue to do that. But
Which I I kind of wanted to highlight that because that's part of why the other day I suggested you have like a topic generator
mhm.
to like help reach into the confines. Oh my god, that's such a big thing of soda. What do you got there? You got the generic
The
Doctor
dog
Thunder,
it's this one's Dr. Dynamite.
Doctor Dynamite. What the fuck?
It's great.
What in the Dr. Pepper 23 flavors rip off looking ass motherfucker is?
This is the one Albertsons. I actually don't know if they have more
You
locations.
guys have Albertsons? Oh man.
Yeah. We gotta
Is Albertsons a Kroger company?
No, Smith's is our Kroger company.
Oh.
Hmm. Albertsons is a different company, but yeah, no, it's kind of a funny one to just drink around because like I've had the Dr. Dynamite, I've had the Dr. K, I've had the Dr. Thunder, now Dr. Dynamite. So you got to test all the off-brand sodas.
Yep.
Yeah, but going back to the topic of the topic generator, I think you're not wrong for that one. The topic generator does help. Um, I've like kind of peeked at a couple ones before. You kind of sent me that one. And I was thinking about it. I'm just also kind of trying to see like can I build my own topic from excuse me burping what from like whatever other idea or but that's not a full thought. I didn't verbalize a full thought just then. But I tried to see if I can learn to build up a full topic myself. And a lot of times, because I do watch a lot of content, I think that I can start rambling about the content that you watch, like, oh, the Wendigoon videos, or like the Lego, like the current topics I'm going to talk about is that Lego situation with bricks and minifigs. But you want to ramble about that? Have you seen that, Darman?
I have no clue what you're talking about,
Okay,
respectfully.
okay. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. I'll generally enlighten you. So I don't even remember their names. But there's this old gentleman who started to collect a lot of Legos. It seems like there were a lot of Star Wars Legos, and these were kind of older Star Wars Legos, and ones they didn't sell anymore. And his collection grew to the size around $200,000. He
Oh.
seemed to fall into an illness, and his son was going to sell them to a very well known second hand or just like very big buying and selling Lego company called Bricks and Minifigs. And so his son goes to the local bricks and minifigs and does, I believe, a consignment. So basically, they'll hold the Legos and sell them, and
Sold
then
by weight. Yeah.
yeah, and then as soon as they sell them, they give the money to the original owners, but also keep some of the money. And
Right.
so
Commission. Yeah.
yeah. And so what ends up happening is that that owner was uh, going to leave the country beforehand, but then the boss or the main owners of Bricks and Minifigs kind of just shoot him out, and another guy came in and was going to run that place, and he said he was going to take up the responsibilities of the deals that they made. He ended up not paying out the person with the collection, and is
Gasp.
yep, and is they were basically holding the Legos and selling them, and have still a bunch of the Legos, and they were kind of fighting on it for a time. Um, there was a bunch of different things happening. So a bunch of smaller Lego creators apparently were trying to talk about it and get the guys' Legos back, and then Bricks and Minifigs started to attack their channels. And so when you're a content creator that's not big, risking a strike, especially when you have the money to fight it out legally, is not an easy thing. And so they're
No,
like,
it's not.
"What do we do about it?" So they kind of like gave up on it. Um, and then this one guy, uh, Ben, I forget his name. I forget the name of the channel. He was like, "All right,
Ben Bateman.
no, it's not Ben Bateman. Um, it's why can't I remember his name? Ben Reckless Ben, or Ben Reckless, or yeah, I think it's Reckless Ben. I don't remember. But essentially that YouTuber, he's sub a million, which is interesting. Which he's doing a lot for this other guy, and he's just like he's doing his best to contact to get involved and trying to fix this and trying to get the guy's money back. And so all that's been happening is Bricks and Minifigs has turned themselves into just like this evil looking corporation of stealing an old guy's Legos. And from the way that, and like even it's funny about it, the Utah police has been getting involved, and from the responses of the Utah police and Bricks and Minifigs CEO and owner, I actually don't know if I believe it's like Josh is the CEO, and I don't know not, or the owner and the CEO is somebody else. They seem to be, their responses are subpar to the evidence that Ben has given, and so they just look like the bad guys. Like it's like, hey man, I'm willing to let you say that he's been manipulating the story for online clout and controlling the narrative, but you have done nothing to be able to prove that he's doing any of these things. The cops have they were like, he lied. Evidence? He lied. Thanks. Great evidence of I made it the fuck
Super
up.
evidence.
Yep. And so, like, it makes them look stupid.
Source, I made it the fuck
Yep.
up.
Source, I made it the fuck up. But yeah, no, the whole story has been in my mind, and I've been kind of thinking about it because it's been, Most Critical has been covering it a lot. And I think it's really funny about it is because of the fact that like Bricks and Minifigs is so big that they have a local place here, and I was kind of joking. I was like,
Oh,
let's go protest at the local Bricks and
that's a
Minifigs.
if you genuinely believe, I think you should. I
I
think you should. Like
Yeah.
literally just go hang out across, be in the parking lot, have business to do with another business in the lot.
Hmm.
But while you're there on the public property, hold up a sign. Honk twice if you think you should give his fucking Legos back.
Yeah. And because honestly, the problem they have is that the way that Bricks and Minifigs has been treating the situation is such an abuse of financial power, and it really feels like it because the way that they're like, hey, if you start a lawsuit, you are going to be spending more in lawyer fees to get the money back, or to get more money back. You're going to be spending more in the lawyer fees than you'll ever see when it comes to if this is like lawsuit goes through. And
That's so fucking sad.
yeah, and then the I believe the owner was like, hey, we're gonna pin this on Ben. We're gonna say you stole Legos, and it's like, oh, and then it doesn't help that that the YouTuber was traffic. So a couple of like one of the traffic stops was like, hey, you have you didn't stop at the stop sign. They reviewed the footage. They stopped at the stop sign. Uh, and it was just a or it was not a real reason to do a traffic stop. And then some random person calls in and says these people were doing heroin, and then and one of the cops knew the name of the YouTuber Ben. They're like, who? Which one is Ben? So does it not seem suspicious that the only people who should know about Ben being there and the only people who have a vendetta against him are Bricks and Minifigs, the company? What makes it even worse is this is going to be dumb is that they've connected it to Mormons. The owners of Bricks and Minifigs is Mormon,
Okay.
and a couple of the officers are. You know, I don't know it. You know,
As
anyway,
they often tend to be
in
in the
Utah,
states of Utah, Nevada, New Mexico,
yeah, it's
the fucking
in the
Mormon
surrounding
states.
area. Yeah, Utah obviously being a big one, but it's really funny to think about because it's like they connected to that, and they're like, it's like you know, I'm not sure if there's a full connection there. I think it's more of I think it's maybe the sense of brotherhood. I actually don't know. I think it's really funny that they made that connection, and it definitely does seem a abuse of power. But the YouTuber in the first video was smart about it. He's like, okay, let's go to small claims, which I don't know if small claims can get you the amount of money that is
Small
deserved.
claims. So here's the way with the way our justice system works.
Hmm.
If it, you said it was like a Lego collection in the realm of over $10,000.
Yeah, $200,000.
So,
Yeah.
so at that point, it's larceny or breach of contract, and it's like there are mechanisms to make sure that, I'm not gonna pretend to know how the contract was written or anything.
Hmm.
There are mechanisms in place to protect sellers from these situations. It's
Hmm.
just unfortunate that they are, a lot of times it's just obfuscated really deep in fine print, and that's why for a contract that large, like if I were to do a magic collection right that like that,
Hmm.
um I would not, I would not release the physical things until there was a contract with a clear delineated line as to what happens if I am not paid by this date.
Hmm.
Because that is a reasonable expectation that someone in one of these transactions, because they also have to pay taxes on it.
Hmm.
They have to pay taxes on the transaction, and if they're not paid, they can't pay those taxes.
Yeah.
So, like you said, it's even more of a financial abuse on these people if they have the contract and they were supposed to have been paid, but the transactions happened. They have theoretically been paid, but even though they have not been. So then they're in hot water with state and federal government.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck?
Yep. And that's and
These rat bastards.
dude, it makes me just like it makes me really dislike some of the like just the way people work when it comes to just like I want more money.
Business.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
especially when it comes to hobby businesses, it's like it doesn't help that Bricks and Minifigs looks like it took the hobby and just completely was like, hey, you know, people love Legos. It's something. It's like it's been the childhood for generations. Um, like for a lot of people, like they've been out for I don't remember how long. I actually did in elementary school a presentation on Legos, which I don't remember any of that information. But uh,
Legos came out in what, the 70s?
that's what I was thinking. Denmark, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Um, and like because it's been out for so long and they've been so much fun for so many people, and then you get like companies like this who seemingly just ruin it, and it's like like I don't have that many Legos still. Like I still have a couple of Legos like on my shelves for decoration, but it's like, man, these people make my blood boil. You know, I'm willing to go protest at the local bricks and minifigs because like it'd be great to get an online presence and say, hey, let's all go protest at our local bricks and
Well,
minifigs, but
yeah, but like that's less the reason, right? Like,
yeah, it's
but I do think that protest is a very 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 important tool.
mm,
If there's one thing I've seen over the last year that's done so much more work than it has in, well, I can't say that. I think when we're looking at protests, there's a
mm,
difference between protesting a business and protesting like government.
mm,
Um, because the business doesn't have to listen to you until the PR and the actual financial damages come rolling in.
yeah. And so
Um,
that's kind of why I wanted to do that. Because, like, hey, let's see if we can get eyes on this situation from the people who might not see it on the internet. Because we have the Redditors and the YouTube watchers and the people who follow Twitter who get to see it. But what about the people who
mhm.
actually go and buy the Legos from Bricks and Minifigs? Like, do they get to understand that, like, maybe they bought a set that is not legally Bricks and Minifigs? Because it's either A, they're not like they said, hey, we don't do these type of deals, but they do apparently. So if you don't do those types of deals, then these aren't your Legos. This isn't your property. Give it back. Um, but if you do, then you're just
Because at
keeping the
some
money. But
point, right? Because at some point, it has to be determined whether there's either a breach of contract or
mhm,
b it is straight up stolen at that point,
yeah,
which has further implications.
yeah,
Um, and for like it, I don't know what the thresholds are in the state of New Mexico, but
mhm,
like, or in this, no, this is happening in the state of Utah.
Utah, yeah,
Yeah, I don't. I'm not gonna pretend to say what, but like, usually the brackets for like larceny for theft are 0 to 1,000, 1,000 to 5,000, 5,000 to 10,000, and then 10,000 to 50,000. Um, and then from there, I think it goes 50,000 plus.
mhm,
At least in my state of New York.
yeah, yeah,
The only
and
reason I know that is because they almost nailed a former employee with grand larceny in the second degree because a dude was stealing time apparently. I don't know how true that is, but that's what they said.
hmm.
They like
So,
looked at his time card and dude was like clocking massive hours,
oh, okay,
just OT. Like
huh.
OT that was not being worked.
Oh yeah, like this obviously wouldn't be like I clocked in 30 minutes early every shift, but this is more of like I
Well, that's
clocked in.
exactly, yeah, yeah, it wasn't clocking in 30 minutes early and then getting to work. It was sitting out in my car for another 15 minutes before actually walking in.
Yeah,
And apparently it went on for uh after COVID. Between COVID and now, probably even earlier than that. So,
dang. So it went on for quite a while where it's like, hey, this time does stack up when it comes to money, and
right.
yeah, that's a great way to get yourself in trouble is get paid for something you're not doing, and then company doesn't like that. So, but yeah, no, for this Lego story, I think it's just it's one of those stories that just you're like, wow, I'm gonna get upset. And the thing is that like I would be if the company was able to provide ample evidence saying that hey, actually, we're being represented in a false light. Um, no, like the YouTuber um has a couple of charges against him, stalking charges, because the way he's been trying to get, after a while trying to contact, he tried to serve small claims court papers to a couple of the people, and because of that, he's gotten a stalking charge on him. And so
Ooh.
like even in my eyes, it's like sure, maybe he didn't make that right decision, but even then it doesn't right the wrong that the company has done. Like even
Right.
if the court finds the YouTuber liable for or just like hey, he did stalk. Again, it's like sure, but it doesn't disprove the fact that the company lost already to small claims from a default decision because this didn't show up, closed that location down, and then just so that they didn't have to pay out at all. So um, they again have reached continuous levels of looking bad without proving any of their sides at all. It's great. Um, like not great in the wow, this is amazing sense, but it's like wow, you really don't
Oh,
know how to make
you
stuff look better.
really, really just damaged your image.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's like that's why like I like helping like protesting allows more people to, especially people again, people on the internet get to see it, but do people in person get to see it? How often do again these like Lego enthusiasts get to see the fact that like hey these like the company that that does these things has stolen from or now is allegedly has stolen from a son and older gentleman's would live like $200,000, and that money was going to go to medical or other things, potentially other things. It's like even if it wasn't going towards medical, it's like that's just their money. That's their collections, their money, and they're not doing the right thing. And so it's like if I could provide I guess like education to not educate, just like provide awareness, I should say, to the general population that doesn't see these things, and then allow them to make their decision based on the evidence that they look at, and then allow them to judge the company based on their view, and potentially allow that for the company if they judge the view in the company saying, hey, I think they did something bad, to then more and more people start avoiding, boycotting, and not going to the business. Maybe that can cause them to actually change. Um,
Yeah, that's really the only method of change like these days is like punch them in the wallet.
yep,
Sucks. Sucks. Punch them in the wallet. Oh, you have to fire an employee. Well, that's not right for that employee.
yep.
But like get punched in the wallet. You have to like at some point you can't keep getting kicked in the dick.
hmm Yeah, and it's hard because like unless you have the money to sue them, because like suing it would be an easier route of just like because you don't have to convince people to protest and boycott because you just got to get a really good lawyer, and to convince a judge that they've done something wrong and then sue them based on that financially. But when it comes to boycotting, you don't necessarily need money, you just need to be convincing. And so it gives you more ability to actually make change that sort of way without suing. But
What a world we live in.
what it is a world that we live in, but it's not it's
Oh, they're
not
only taking one of my toxic greens, not the second one.
what? Oh, you
Oh,
selling
I'm working
cards.
on my sell list. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, now I have to organize it because it has to be done alphabetical.
And do you sell through Card Kingdom?
That is so if I'm doing like a massive bulk lot, yeah, I go to Card Kingdom. I could have gone to my local game store and gotten a little bit more, but I can't guarantee that my local game store is going to take everything.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, because you have a lot more cards than because like for my local game store, it's mainly just trade-ins for to like get more cards. Like there's a couple cards that like I have. I'm like,
yeah, they'll pay cash for like yeah, like most stores would prefer to do credit because that
mhm.
allows them to rotate product.
Yeah.
They still get something while getting rid of the panopticon in front of them. Not panopticon. I'm tired, damn it.
Dude, we're both tired, but yeah, they at least get something from.
So, have you thought about getting a job?
And yeah, I've thought about it because I continue to spend money in very dumb ways just because that's just what I do. I love to blame executive function disorders such as autism and ADHD While there is ample enough evidence to say that that is a very good excuse, it doesn't change the reality of the fact that I'm spending the money. So,
Yeah, I mean, at some point, right?
yeah,
At some point, there's no more dollar dues in the bank account.
yeah. At least I do still have my stock investments. I am too lazy to pull those out. So,
Oh, don't do that. Don't
yeah,
do
no,
that. Don't
I'm not touching
expose
those.
yourself to the tax risk.
You know, the tax
Uh,
risk was what makes me be like, okay, I did doing that would be a big pain.
yeah.
Um,
Are you just doing a traditional account or is it like an IRA?
right now it's just a traditional account. No, no, not an IRA just yet, just because I know you can do an IRA without having consistent income. It just I know that like I want to be able to provide for that cap of the IRA, but
Yeah, because I mean, if you're not taking it out for a long time,
mhm,
then it's going in. So the money that goes into an IRA gets taxed on the front end as
mhm,
opposed to the back end, which is some kind of to your advantage. Um,
yeah, it also
because you can
depends on
borrow against the IRA later when you're looking at a house.
yeah. I know
That
it's
is
different
like the
for
primary method for like our generation is to like borrow against your 401k,
mhm,
borrow against your 401k or a Roth IRA. You can actually borrow against both,
mhm,
um, depending on the type of home loan that you take.
yeah. I know that I know that there's a difference between traditional and Roth, and that's depending on where they tax you um money wise, and you choose one of the I forget which one you choose if you're gonna make a lot of money, and I don't think I'm gonna make a lot of money, so um
I mean, so you if you're gonna make a small amount of money, it's the 401k that you want
mhm
because you can get more upfront.
mhm
You get more upfront, and you pay the taxes on the back end. Most people, the there's some debate on which of these is more efficient, but the running theory is that if you make enough that you can cap your 401k contributions, then you go into your Roth IRA.
mhm
And then once you max that cap, then there's a secret third thing you can do. There's like two versions of the Roth IRA, and then there's like a Roth. No, I'm thinking of something else. But like, there's a couple like, and unfortunately, like this only matters for people who have a living surplus
mhm
of like 70%.
yeah, I was gonna say that
Because
this
those
is
are people that are
strange.
trying to retire at 63, at 64, at 65.
Yeah,
Um,
and so when you don't have that accessibility, it's gonna be well, I don't know.
there's no point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's kind of no point. There's gonna be like there's kind of I guess a lot to look into when it comes to that. I remember it's funny. I remember when I was in freshman year of high school, my wrestling coach was talking to us about IRAs, and he's like, invest now and you'll be a millionaire when you retire. I think it's just really funny. I remember that just super because like I don't he was an interesting guy, and I remember telling him it was in esports. He's like, I don't like that. I'm like, yeah, okay, and I quit wrestling mainly because it was not a lot of fun when all you're doing is like running, you feel like shit, and then you're already depressed, grades aren't great, and you're running and you feel like shit, and it's just a steaming pile of poopy dog water. So I was like, I'm gonna get out of that, and so stopped wrestling. But I just remember that him just like one day just like you just sat us down, just talking about investing, and I'm like, okay. It also reminds me that
So
oh sorry, God.
there's a couple of really good graphics too that like can show he's not wrong.
He isn't wrong. I don't disagree. He's not wrong. It's just more funny to think about like wrestling coach
It's just a
does.
strange time and place. Yeah.
It really is. But it was funny because yesterday, which is not yesterday, it's technically the day before yesterday because it's like today's what Monday, whatever. But it was Saturday. Um, during the garage sales, this one gentleman who was in the Air Force was talking to me and my father, because my father was asking about a couple of different things, and he was like, "Hey, do you save money?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, start saving your money and doing these other things, and you'll become a millionaire by the time you're ready to retire." I'm like, "Yep." I didn't tell him like I've had this story before, and he's like, "You know what are you into? What's your field of study?" I said psychology. He's like, "You know what? The Air Force
So
has a great plan for you." And I didn't tell him that it's harder for me to join the military because of my autism diagnosis now. Like I can't be drafted. They cannot draft me.
you are ineligible because you're level 2 autistic
Hmm.
and you're suicidal.
Yep. And that's a really big one.
Yeah.
They will look at that and they will say, "Nope, nope." The and even because
That's a fat bag of nope.
yep, and because they will allow high functioning autistic people to be in the military as long as they get
Yeah, they just
medical.
don't write off. Yeah, they
Yeah,
get the waiver or they just don't write it down. The problem
yeah.
with not getting it written down at all, though, is that when you go to the VA later, they're like, "You don't have that. Yeah, that would have been on
Yeah.
your intake."
Yeah, which we would not let you in if you did. And that's where a lot of problems come in, where it's like they won't deal with a lot of those problems through the VA. So yeah, I also am not wanting to be in the military. I for a time when I was like I used to play League of Legends with this group of people. This one dude was like, "Hey, I did nothing with my life for a while," and I was like, "Fuck it, go to the military." So he just was in the military for a time, and he's like, "You could do that too if you wanted." And for a time, I was like, "I'm doing nothing with my life. Maybe I should join the military." And then I did not. I am lucky I did not join before I got the autism diagnosis because I would have regretted that. So I am super lucky that I did not do that. He wasn't trying to pressure or anything. He wasn't a recruiter either, which is great. He was just more of like, I don't know. He's like, I didn't do anything. This is also he talked to me freshman year of high school. Cause we just played a lot of League of Legends with a bunch of different people, and then
Yeah, you'll meet some strange types.
yeah, you'll meet some Science people playing League of Legends.
You'll
But
meet somebody like a fucking man.
yeah, exactly. You might be dumb, man. Um,
That's truly a fate worse than death.
one day you meet the Dar Man in your game.
And then you're gay.
They turn
Computer, make these guys gay and horny. Computer, why are they looking at me like that?
computer, show this guy set porn.
Ew.
Computer,
I don't.
show Volley Bear Rule 34.
No, no.
No, you know, man.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so yeah,
What's even crazier is I'm in a Discord of people that would probably appreciate that content.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's really funny because
I'm not talking about my Discord.
there. I will say I've met people who actually appreciate that content, but I don't interact
Strange.
with a lot of more random discords anymore, but which is not a bad thing. I
Oh, you should have
remember.
heard Noe. We were trying to play some Magic, and Noah's like, "Yeah, I could play." I shoot him the invite. He's like, "Ooh, that's 230 people. That's too many people.
Yeah,
I'm not walking in there." And
yeah,
I'm like,
I would.
"Do you know how dead Discords work? Like, there's only 10 people that actually care and matter in there."
Yeah, I will say Noe being a little more divisive of a character, which is like I enjoy him as a good friend because I know him more, but like you kind of see how he's a little more divisive. He does like
Oh,
to
100%. Like,
yeah
he's a funny guy, but like,
yeah he
I don't think he's
definitely
my kind of funny guy.
he has that like 2013 to like 2019 edgy YouTube humor.
He's got that fucking curated Epstein humor, is what it is.
Yeah, and I think that
You
like
can clip that and send it to him. I said that. He doesn't know. He doesn't understand.
yeah, but yeah, no, he has the edgy humor that it's not too popular nowadays, which is like not a bad thing when it comes to just like hanging
It
out with
is
them.
so popular nowadays. What are you
It
talking
well,
about?
so I think it's kind of like so think about Filthy Frank and how it became we start to push past it because of like the fact that people were starting the apocalypse
Oh
and being
no.
demonetized, and so we start to get out of that sort of edginess so that people would stay monetized, and so the edginess came back in a sort of sense to push against that, but like a lot of mainstay people, people who want to maintain actually having a career, oftentimes will be a bit more on bit more brand safe, which is fair. Like I remember Sea Dog VA watching the videos on like people's original videos and hearing him say certain words and the way he reacted to them, it's like yeah, he's way more brand safe. Like if this was like a different group of people or if this was a different time, like the videos would just be like, "Oh, yeah, yeah." You would not thought, a second about it. But again, it's not bad to be brand safe. I think that like advertising wise, it's a really big one. But also
It's good to be aware.
yeah, it also allows you to be able to communicate to people in a more positive light. Like if I try to prevent myself from being an aggressor, even in a joking sense, it allows me to interact with more people and even like and without alienating them. And so like there's some level of where I will not like bend the knee to certain people being like, you said the word whatever, and it's like and it being like if it's a very normal word, like if they're like you just said autistic, and if someone tries to stop me from saying that, I'm like, all right buddy, you're a little too far gone.
Okay, buddy.
All right
Oh man.
buddy. But all
You
right
have crossed the
pal.
line this time.
But like I'm not gonna bend the knee to certain small things. I'm like, all right, you're going a little too far. But other things, I'm like, hey, like if someone's like, hey, don't like one big thing that Dr. K talked about a while back was like how he used to make like tiny dick jokes, and then he's like, he's like, I learned that the men who actually struggle from it's a really big problem. These are people who have like actual like medically like this is tiny. This isn't just like, oh, it's slightly below average. It is like extremely below average to the point of where like there's I'm not even sure medical intervention will help that much other than completely creating a new one. But in that sort of sense, it's like I'm willing to be more understanding and to adjust the way I communicate just for that because it allows me to be nice to more people, allows me to engage with more people. Um, from it's a really weird thing to think about because like I used to never care and now I care. Like I used to be in that edgy sense of like I don't care what people think. I'm gonna say what I want to say, and then now I'm just like no. I think that like
What I want.
yeah, I think it's like it's important to have a good balance of like hey, do not like just bend the knee to every person because you'll lose your identity, but also don't be a dick for the sake of just because you think what you say is okay. It's like hey, like I think that like at some level say some word like words are just words at some level when it comes to people who don't care, but words to some people and in some context of the situation are far more like it's funny because last stream at the beginning of the stream I kind of said a story on how this extremely like this one situation and the words that were spoken in that one situation has affected me for the past 9 years of my life or whatever or 9 10 wherever like time it's been has been such a big effect of my life to the point of where like hey sure like words are just words but like that's affected me for like such a long time that like I think that just being able to be aware that hey words are words but also know that words have power um over people, over situations, and whether or not they should or shouldn't isn't the topic. Whether or not whether or not people are should be or shouldn't be vulnerable to words, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that people are, and we should respect that.
Amen. Can I get a hallelujah?
Preaching to the choir, but like it's like it's because I kind of think about it a lot
No, I
because
agree. Yeah.
yeah, but I think about it a lot in that sort of situation because of the fact that like I've become and this kind of goes into like this really funny idea, and I see this a lot when people talk about it, the centrist movement, and like people being like, which is a fair thing because a lot of people will judge it. Um, and a lot of like the centrists reaction internet centrist reaction to that is like just because I think that both sides are bad, then that means that like I'm enlightened, because like it's the joke about enlightened centrists, and like I think that like I I don't know where the other centrist exists, and what their beliefs are. I don't consider myself a centrist. I said other. It's like I don't fucking know what I am. I just sit here and fence it, um, hard. I fence it as hard as possible because like I don't know enough. Like if someone talks to me about a situation, I might not know enough evidence to actually argue that the person's thing. So if someone's like arguing that like data centers were great, like I know that like people don't like them. I know that they will use water, and I know that they use electricity. But like if they say actually it will, if they bring a data center here and will change the infrastructure, the electrical infrastructure, and actually could be a positive thing, and it actually will bring jobs here. It's like I don't know enough about that to argue, and so instead of trying to say you're right and just go with whoever gives me the logic first, instead of first come first serve, if you tell me something, I'll believe it. I'm just gonna be like, that's an interesting point of view. I think that like that you have a couple good points here, and then I'll listen to other people do that. And part of it comes from laziness of just like I don't feel like actually doing the research. Part of it also feels the fact that like I don't know what is correct. My moral compass is very neutral now. Not neutral, very um
Personalized.
yeah. It's to the point of
Because
where
you're the way I see your moral compass is more in a person to person basis.
mhm. Yeah, it's more individual basis, less of like this a government thing. It's still a kind of I observe it because a lot of people, because there are some people who will sit to themselves and think that like, hey, and the average person is not educated enough to make a vote on whether or not some laws should be changed. That's why we can't be a democracy. And like while like you can show me a clip of somebody making the dumbest decision and acting as if they're smart. Like I remember going to an anime convention, and this one dude was drunk and trying to talk, and like I again don't do that much research, but from the small amount of ability of communication that I built up, he was unable to ever wiggle out of what I was talking about. Like if he actually knew what he's talking about, he could have easily owned me, or at least had a upper hand in the conversation and looked competent. But because he didn't know what he's talking about at all, he just felt his beliefs, and I just was able to own him in that situation. I'm like, I didn't know anything. Like the way I talked about things was like, I don't know about this, but this is the way I believe things, and this is the way like this is the situation, this is my beliefs,
The
and this is how this
situations
situation does not align with my beliefs. My beliefs could be wrong.
are
I could be
irrelevant.
misguided, but yeah. So my things tend to be more individual, and it allows me to, I focus more on the individuals, but when it comes to other people, they'll talk about certain things, and like, do I figure myself to be more libertarian or authoritarian? And in my sort of sense, because of being more individual now, I consider myself libertarian, but do I see people make very good arguments for authoritarian? Yeah. Do I see people make very good arguments for libertarian? Yeah. Like in that sort of sense, like do I want a more powerful government or a less powerful government? It's like I've seen I've seen pretty good arguments. I tend to lean a little bit more little bit more into a very sturdy government and not a weak government. So I'm not like in because people are like we should have barely any government and no taxes and like these other things. I'm like hey,
Right.
but I want a bit more of a sturdy government. I want a little more. I do like I
Sturdy and robust.
yeah, and like sturdy, robust, but also not over involved in some senses. So like when it comes to one thing that I like kind of talked about like an older topic would be um I forget if it's the Colorado or Arizona um Supreme Court decided that like that therapy is protected based on free speech. Um, which means that which basically theoretically in especially in that sort of situation it was I believe it was a religious therapist potentially doing conversion based therapy, and I think that's a very controversial situation, and I think that I think the government not having a control over that situation is fine, but I do want a system that actually knows that's in place. So there are I forget exactly what the name of it, but there are people in place to basically like say, hey, like if you are abusing your license, we will revoke your license. And I think that having them be powerful to be the judge over the situation, saying, hey, you're actually abusing your power in the situation. Like the government, I think that like the government.
Which is like how Chevron deference to professionals appointed by the government helps move that action
Mhm.
forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so like saying that, hey, like it is perfect protected by free speech, but just because it's protected by free speech does not mean that you keep your license. We won't jail you, but you don't keep your license. And I think that's a really big one. I think that government like being able to kind of like I think give it to the people who are the
Because that's how you.
professionals
Right.
and like who know, but like having the ability police and maintain order with inside of a profession, but not giving it to the people who don't understand. And so like I don't want like some random judge, lawyer, or person to judge a person who they don't understand the ins and outs of therapy. So like if they don't, because like a lot of times in therapy, let's say like PTSD based therapy, you're going to be going through a lot of emotional things. You're going to be feeling really like the client might feel really bad. They're going to bring up a lot of those situations and to help them process it. The process is you're going to feel bad for a time and hopefully you feel better at the end. And so I don't want a therapist to be judged by the government for trying to do their job. And so there's some level of where it's like it's as long as you're trying to do your best for the job, you can get away. Like let's say if like somebody was trying to go like help somebody with PTSD and they actually made this person worse, but as long as they're seen like shown to say, hey, this person was trying their best and doing their due diligence to do their best, or doing their due diligence to the point of where it's like to say that they were malpractice would be wrong. And so like I think that like protecting those people, but we already have those things in place, law wise. And so, but I do think having a good policing over jobs allows us to have that. And it's kind of like where we get a unions being a policing towards the job itself, where it's like, okay, like, the job can't just fire you, we're going to help you in that sort of sense. And so allowing an ability to like have a policing both in the say that like, okay, we're not going to let the individuals do whatever they want, but we're also not going to let the companies abuse the individuals and let them do whatever they want. And I think that's a super important thing that I find that like I'm more inclined to believe that. And so like I have some more foundational beliefs, things like that. Um, but when it comes to some of these other things, when people are like, "Would you like an authoritarian government to control these things?" And I'm like, "You actually make a good point of view on this, and how control could be good here." But I don't know. I don't know whether or not it's the best thing ever. And then someone can make a really good libertarian argument, being like, "Hey, actually, the government should not control these things, and the individual should be able to make their own decision." I'm like, "You make a good decision here, or you make a good logic here." Or like, I don't know too many of the arguments, offer it, but like when people make them, and I can't decide, I'm gonna sit in the middle because I don't know. I can think about it, and I've thought about a lot of things, which is really funny. I'm not stupid, and I think about these things. It's just the fact that like my thoughts alone has not given me a clear answer, and I would have to go and do more research. But that very very small, and I would like to explain the very 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 small amount of research I've done. This is like read like 3 Wikipedia articles or whatever has led me to say I have not made a decision on what I believe just yet. But I do enjoy the more individualist like beliefs that I continue to maintain because it allows me to work with people in the way that I like, and allows me to be as I want to be as helpful to an individual and and as many individuals as possible. But and that's kind of where my focus is, and that's where I always maintain that sort of individual based ideas. But it's
Damn. They deleted my islands from the soul cart. That's so sad. I'll have to send
dang.
them another day. Well, I mean, it's fine because it means like there's uh 40 cents a piece. There's 18 of them. There's a couple dollars there.
Yeah. Is it like I didn't know how much of a side hobby that is. Is it like a really good side hustle for you?
So I when I was going to play tournaments on a regular basis, I would have a binder that I would have two binders that I brought with me.
Mm-hmm.
One for people that I knew were playing at a higher level, which basically was, are you in the Facebook group or not? Are you in
Mm.
the local Facebook group where people talk about tournaments, deck strategy, etc.? Um, so I had like a serious binder, and then I had a not so serious binder. Um, and so kind of leading into COVID, I I would make hard to say make. I would I was able to produce approximately an extra $1,000 to $3,000 a year
Yeah, so
just by like playing in tournaments and trading.
yeah, because I remember it was our last stream a couple streams ago. We talked about how like you would sometimes be like, "Hey, I'll trade you these cards if you pay for a meal here," or like when you
Yeah, yeah, that was a big deal. Like before I moved to New York, um, like card games have just been a part of my life for a long, long time.
yeah. And it seems like we kind of talked about this before. It seems like the hobby itself is allows you to continue to like reinvest itself into the hobby. So it's like you'll buy stuff, you engage in tournaments, you do these things, and
Yeah,
after you're able to sell cards and engage in these things, to then buy more cards, to just engage in the hobby, which is
really making it the goal has been to like keep it moderately self-sustaining.
hmm which is from the way it sounds, it seems like you did that pretty well. Um,
I mean, yeah, I'm at the point where it's like making hard evaluations of like what am I not playing?
hmm
What is just taking up inventory and real estate in my mind and in my physical collection,
hmm
right? To the point where like I'm getting ready to like take a serious scan of my collection and be like, okay, is this thing going to get reprinted? That's
Yeah.
the big question I'm asking myself is this going to get reprinted? And the big question the answer for that in a lot of cases now with the Universes Beyond products is that no,
hmm
unless it's something that has like a very generic name, like uh delighted halfling. We have halflings in D&D.
hmm We also do
Um
have the Hobbit set coming out, which
the
I don't.
Hobbit set is coming out and we are already seeing a handful of reprints out of that. But like
Mm,
outside of a repeat set or a repeat print run, um we're not going to see certain reprints of big
Universes
cards in those
Beyond.
older sets. It is so Universes Beyond is kind of a safe bet. I tell any new player, just buy all the commander decks.
hmm
If you can, buy two of them.
Yeah,
Have one to play with.
and have one as a collection.
Have literally throw the other one up in the closet.
Yeah,
Keep it in a dry place, no water exposure.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's so I'm in that process of letting go for now
hmm
because I can always acquire the cards again later.
Yeah.
And for like high level tournament play, some people really overstate how important shocklands and things are.
hmm
So like your mana base is like three-quarters of your like you should never really sell your mana base. Because your mana base is eternal.
Yeah, it's
They're not banning shocks, they're not banning fetches. So always trading into those things, like converting your dime rares into shocks is like almost always good.
hmm
Right? There's just some cards that do not have a world outside of standard.
yeah, like the fetch lands being such a big one. Those maintain value so hard. Like it's like because fetch lands. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and I mean, fetch lands the last time around, you could buy like Bloodstained Mire for $10 a pop at Modern Horizons 3. Now they're up to $20.
Yeah, no, it's like
It's been a year, 2 years since Modern Horizons 3.
yeah, and just seeing that price maintain, which is like
And it maintains an upward trend because that tells us that the supply is getting soaked up.
yeah, and it's funny to think about how like because the mana base is something I've noticed that like costs a lot of money. Obviously, like in Commander,
But once you have it,
yeah,
you don't need more
yeah,
unless you're a
because
commander player.
yeah, where it's a unless you build 1,000 different decks with 1,000 different, you know, you might even do the same because like I play in a lot of green, and so Sultai,
Yeah,
Golgari.
if you play green in commander, you don't even need special lands.
Oh yeah, dude, green is great. And so I get away with a lot of
Yeah.
that with in my Simic deck. Like I have some lands, but like I don't really need that much because it's just like go get a land, cool, or Kodama's Reach, go get some land, cool. Um,
Right. Like there's no point in the game that you should be wishing for
mhm.
color specificity.
Yeah, and if you do, and this is what I've done a lot, because like there's some times where like there's obviously some games where it's just like I have not gotten to any of my ramp spells, or I have my ramp spells, but I only have blue, which I can't cast my ramp spells in. I haven't found any of my and produce one mana of any color, mana rocks or mana dorks. I don't know what's happening. That happens every now and then, but it happens so little in green because it's like I have one green color and maybe I need two blue, but guess what? I have this Kodama's Reach in my hand. It's great, so you
In
don't have to
my
worry about it.
pocket.
Yep, I don't need to worry about it.
What does it got in its pockets is?
Yeah, and so like yeah, so mana bases in Commander, like especially if you have like three or more colors, like three colors, I've noticed being some I start to want to avoid now, just because of like if I'm not playing in
Now
green.
just play a three color that touches green.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you play a three color that touches green, you smooth sailing. Like it legitimately, it is like wow, this is amazing. A
High
three,
level magic players don't want you to know the secret trick. Just play green,
just play
idiot.
green. But when it comes to like any, because I have in spirit and playing that deck, and I have a Wayfarer's Bauble and I have a Slum Simulacrum, but like, and I think I have a couple other cards. But man, if you don't hit a color and you just don't get your commander out early, especially with in spirit, you don't put those charge counters on in spirit, you're just so far
Floundering for the rest
behind.
of the game.
Yeah, because like part
Yeah.
of that, because I built that deck to be let's get this let's get my things indestructible and hexproof and sit here like Pillow Fort. This is a you can attack me. You don't have to pay to attack me, but I will defend with an indestructible Thaumpter. Do not worry about it. And so
Don't ask questions.
yeah, and so part of that deck's like strategy is to just try to just keep my stuff around. Um, and it works, but when you don't get that color, it's like I remember playing one match at a local LGS, and I was just kind of a little bit bullied when it came down to bring out in spirit, and so I was like, I'm done, cause and he's like, why'd you like quit early? I'm like, if you saw what I had in my hand, and if you saw the next turns, this was just gonna be
You would have been it too.
it's just me staring at cards. It's legitimately just me staring at cards. It's like, no, you're doing fine. No, you don't understand. This was going to be me staring at cards and be like, wow, I wonder what I can do here and do nothing. Like it was mostly just like play a thing and then and then have that thing die because I need it to defend me, or have that thing being destroyed because by the time because like in some games, like you'll be like, I have three enchantments, and someone has like one enchantment removal, and it's like, hey, it isn't that bad. I get to keep one enchantment, but like, or two enchantments out of that, like, whatever, three, and sure they might get rid of the best one, but it's like, hey, I still got to keep these things. But when you play one enchantment per like 20 turns, like all three players having like something to just stop you, like counter spell, enchantment removal, or basically nullify any positive effects from the enchantment. Like sometimes when you get out of propaganda, someone's gonna be like counter spell, another person can destroy it, or another person's like, oh, by the way, I don't really care because I already have 26 lands, and
Right.
I don't even need that many because my 28/28 trample flying menace, you know, whatever creature will be hitting you. And it's like you can't block it. Smiles. And it's like and I'll pay the 2. You can make me pay 8. I'll pay 10. You can make me pay 20. I could do it. I'm gonna hit you with this big creature. You're going to die. And so, like at a certain point in time, like I was like, this is not worth it. This game is me just sitting here and not dying because they're just
Some
not
people
letting
are
me
also
die.
selfish. They just want you to take the hit for them.
Yeah, and like it's very funny because like there's Magic games where I get upset, and that was not really a Magic game. I was upset. I'm just like, no, I'm just not doing much. I'm not gonna play. I'm
I had a
gonna
game
be
earlier that I got really upset.
yeah.
Game actually before you started streaming. Um, 2 hours and 45 minutes. We got to the end of the game, and Smoke was like, Narman, you win. I'm gonna draw these cards and I'm gonna windfall so that he has an empty deck.
Mm,
And I'm like, oh, okay. But then other players like, oh, I don't die here because I forgot about this enlightened tutor that put a card on top of my deck. It's just been sitting on my board here. Oops, 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 oops. And I'm like, okay, he had enough cards before he F2'd to make sure that you had an empty deck.
mm-hmm,
That is just unbelievably frustrating to have the board state like intentionally or not. And he apologized for,
mm-hmm.
unintentionally causing it. And I'm like, if it wasn't every fucking time with you.
Yeah. I think I might know this perpetrator. Um,
It's not the green one. If
I
It's not the lawyer friend.
I was thinking it because I've noticed that a lot. Because in that,
No, lawyer friend has been improving dramatically, leaps and
okay.
bounds. And you know what made him get so much better is playing that damn mutate deck, that damn Ivy deck.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because that deck when I had Sabedrol, like I get like wanting to represent your deck properly, and that's usually or represent the board state properly, and that's why
Yeah,
every
he
single
freaked out
time
at you unnecessarily on that one.
it's because like I'm not going to double the power and toughness on the app we use for every single creature that I have to do until end of turn, and then you're not, and then as soon as because it happens, it doesn't happen end of combat, it happens at end of turn, and I have to change it. And then it's going to be okay. Let's go through the draw. Let's go through the draw step, the upkeep, and the main phase, and then I'm going to redo it because the thing is that because it'd be failure to represent if I kept it that way. Um, through the non-combat phases. And so I'm just going to tell people during the combat, and this is why every single time during combat, I'm going to tell people it's double the damage because it's a Pedro. Like I will explain to you, and it's
Yeah,
like,
and you made it very clear.
yeah,
I think you effectively communicated.
hmm
He just can't effectively listen sometimes.
yeah, but which is it
Happens
happens.
to the best of us.
In Magic the Gathering, it is a hard thing to always avoid making people like trying to make people happy. That's one of the biggest things about like me. It's like I've learned to want to make people happy, and in Magic the Gathering, sometimes you either just don't care, or sometimes you can't make everybody happy. Like I played Group Hug for a time, and I completely ransacked that deck because one of my friends, him, he just doesn't. He does not like group hug. He will target me and will try to get other people to target me for playing group hug, which is really funny. And so like because like even if he doesn't target me at a certain point in time, because I realized that like part of the reason why I want to play group hug is because it makes a lot of fun. And honestly, there are matches and games that like have given me the we've had a lot of fun. We've played this 2 hour long game of I played group hug, and everyone had like almost every single creature on board. It was a lot of fun. I've had enough of those to where it's like I don't need to play group hug anymore, or if I want to, I could just build another deck and it'd be perfectly fine. So at this point in time, I don't need to worry about group hug. And so like if I want to do another one, it would be one of the bunnies. I forget what it was. Is tap and draw a card. Everyone draws a card and gains 1 life. So it's just like
Wayne, itinerant
yeah.
meddler.
And so like if I wanted to do another one, I could just do that and not care. But like I try to make people happy. And there's one game where I gave somebody the win. Um, and like this was one with our friend Poe where like at this point in time I was thinking, and in my head I was like, I have the card to give anyone the win here or to stop somebody, and I made a decision quicker because a couple of people had showed up, and I was like, I want this game to end. And I was like, I don't really know. I can give, because the problem is that like I can give this person the win here, I can give this other person the win here, people are not going to be. And I think that I probably made the wrong decision. I probably should have given somebody else the win or the higher chance of winning. But because that happens sometimes where it's like you as a player who might not win can give somebody else the win. I remember there's this one where I was playing against somebody who had a really strong deck. Me and him were playing fours, and the other people were playing twos to say that, or threes, not twos, but like our fours were not like, oh, these are barely fours based on these small criteria. Our fours were like, we are going to win as long as we're not like we've been stopped. Like I was stopped. I was shut down, and so I couldn't win.
Right.
Unless this game more turns. The other guy, I had the opportunity to shut down, and I did, and he kind of got upset there, and was like, I'm just, I'm gonna let you sit in that because these decks, sure they're good, sure these have game changers, sure these are threes, but your deck has beaten them, and I've seen it brutally every single time other than this
Right.
time. I will let
Don't be
them
a salty
win.
hoe.
Yeah, it's like we're not gonna do this. But kind of going back into the fair representation of like comes to like upsetting people, because I forget about certain things, I will let things slide nowadays to where it's like I could have sometimes was like, oh, like in the last Magic match I played, there was a thing that could have maybe won the game that like because you saw that I could have won the game several
Was that the
like
same game that I was in?
yeah, it was the same game,
Oh,
but
brother, you could have won that game so many times
yeah,
over. You just had to apply pressure.
yeah, I had to apply pressure. There was one big thing that could have given me a really, 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 really big advantage in that
Grabbing the
last.
Endrace Forerunner.
Yeah,
I
it,
think I saw you hit an e-witness at some point, and I didn't say anything.
yeah, but it could have been the it could have been that, but there was also there was one other one where it was one of the cards that can unearth, and you can play cards from graveyard. And so if I
Oh,
unearthed
the
it,
perennial.
yeah, if I unearthed it the round before I did, I would have just made that game so much quicker because the person who could have stopped me was tapped out. And
Right.
I was just like I could have done that, made it quicker, but then in the end it just became a very big pain. But that Magic game was an interesting
That
one.
Magic game was something else, and it like mutate just makes for a bad playing experience sometimes.
It's because it's
Um,
kind of like Planeswalkers. It is. I have to go through my 20 different. I'm going to have to play solitaire, and I will not play. I will not win this turn. I will not win, but it will
but I'm gonna
increase.
take 40 game
I'm
actions
going to take
that
40.
get me closer.
Yeah, this is how the game is going to go. Which I will say it was a fun Magic game. Absolutely was fun.
That we learned
Retro
shit that game.
we did learn shit that game. Retroactively, it's fun. Would I want to go sit through another 4 hours of that game ever again? No, no. It was I would not sat through that amount of time for that. But like was the mutate and the thousand things that was happening. That game was fun. Oh yeah, that was pretty funny. And the fact that he didn't win from like at a certain point in time, like it was just like
I
you
don't
know.
think I asked. How did you win?
So so he had a couple cards in hand, and he was able to save a couple of things after he defended. He was able to go back to 5 health after he didn't defend one and went to 1 health, and so he went back to 5. But because he didn't draw into any solution, it was just gonna be me. Like he was saying, it's gonna take too long
You
for
had
him
the
to draw
value
into
stack.
solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just was like, I had Zipedril and a couple other things that would have just given me the win. So he just decided to like seed instead of, and which honestly, which is fine. I was like him seeding in that sort of situation. He probably could have made a couple decisions. I could have blundered a couple of times to make him win, but he decided to seed. And so it's like, hey, it's fine. Like I had the likely win in my pocket, and I don't mind, but um it was one of the situations where it's like I went through the war of attrition,
Right.
um,
Um,
which is fine.
Probably now is not a good time to have this discussion, but I want you to like write it down so we can come back to it. Intentions and intentionality
For another stream.
for another stream,
Yeah,
for another conversation.
yeah. That is a good one. Let me do. Let's see.
Because I find that in games people will play with and without intentions, which means that things happen and
Mm-hmm.
exist in a bubble of where what your intentions were didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a hard concept for some people to grasp.
In intentions, but
I
it's
would I
also
would love to talk more about that at another time. This is
when
me
it's
trying to make my
yeah. I
exit.
was gonna say when it's not
It's that
3
time,
a.m. for
brother.
me and earlier for you. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm
Well,
probably
good
gonna
night.
good night. I'm probably gonna end the stream here too as well. So good night. I think he already left. I can't hear. Yeah, he did. Do I want to play a game? I might play a game. I might play a game then end stream. Um, I'm not really. Again, I'm just kind of sitting here just to show up, just to be existing. Yeah. Oh seven. Yeah, I might end stream, might play a game. I think I'm just gonna end stream, watch a couple YouTube videos like I wanted to. Play a game while watching these YouTube videos, end stream, and just relax. Even though that's what I've been doing is just been relaxing. But hey, it's not. I don't need to just try to win and being perfectly productive. I'm willing to just be like, hey, I'm not gonna be productive right now. So, all right, yeah, I've decided I'm ending stream. All right, and if anyone watches the VOD, and for Diamond, thank you for being here. And anyone watching the VOD, thank you for watching, and have